Welcome to this week's Peeves Tips and Tricks, part of the Holistic Collaboration series and a holistic lifestyle YouTube channel. And today, it's been a little while since I've done a video because I get taught by energy, divine, universe, whatever you want to call it, and there were some things I needed to learn in order to proceed with what I would like to share with you. Part of what I'm learning has been quite exciting. A good friend of mine and I have been channeling together, and it has been a really eye-opening experience. It's been remarkable, and I can't wait to share it with you. We have entered into this world, and it is harsh. We enter into a world as a human being that is quite complex, and there is far more life here on Earth in the universe than we could have ever imagined. We were not just created by God and placed on this earth as, the treasured beings. There's been eons prior to us being here. So these are the wonderful and exciting things that we're learning. When we enter this earth, one of the big things that aids in confusion is our languages. How many words sound the same, mean the same, or we don't even have words for it. How many industries have different words for the same exact thing that's being done in another industry. All of this is set up to keep us from communicating, to disconnect us. There's many efforts to disconnect us from ourselves, and it's not a difficult thing to do. If you were reading a book and at the very beginning, instead of the word yes, it says no, the whole book now would have a complete different meaning, because that's how little it takes to mess up the human being. There's corruption in absolutely everything: our education, the jobs, the whole life, the world, the mortgages. I mean, everything has some little bit of corruption going on in it as part of the effort to keep us confused and disconnected. When we have a really good relationship with energy, and it's a never-ending schooling, guarantee it, when we have developed that relationship where we can understand the guidance that it is giving us, the different forms of communication that can occur, it makes life a lot easier. You can let go of some of the chaos going on around you. Our world is very violent because violence separates us from ourselves. It makes life much more confusing. We start thinking and looping thoughts and so forth. Again, a conditioned situation. Now, how does that happen? Again, it's rather easy. A thought gets an emotion attached to it. Now, when that thought comes up again, that emotion comes up, and when that emotion comes up, that thought comes back. Now, over time, multiple thoughts create these emotions, and it can be very confusing for a person that hasn't gone through or understand how this process really works. We know in quantum physics that this occurs, that we can now rise above our feelings rather than getting trapped within them, recognizing what thoughts are ours and which ones are not, which feelings are ours and which ones are not. These are all keys to better manipulating your own life in this world. Now, quantum physics has been discovering some amazing things that we can do, that our body is far more resilient than we give it credit. So when we learn that we can affect our future, then it makes sense to follow through with processes that can get us there. So let me explain what you're looking for. You are looking for the ability to determine truth for yourself. You are looking and understanding the duality of what happens when you, on one side, start defining who you are, sitting with your emotions, because they are communication. They communicate something inside of you needs to be looked at and may likely even need to be changed. These can also show up in dreams, can also just show up in life as guidance occurs all the time to aid us in becoming better and better as an individual and a being, and gaining the ability to be able to exist and live a flourishing life, even amongst chaos. And it's not easy. This world is very violent to divide, to separate. There are just so many things that have corrupted and altered and made people live in a constant state of fear. This raises adrenaline, and we know that it changes every cell in your body, and it's not for the better. So if we have the ability to do this, when we define ourselves, and you're setting up your integrity, you're understanding emotional communication, you're becoming aware of the communication around you, you are now really being and acting within the being that you have chosen to be and are striving to be. Believe it or not, our spiritual being is far much greater and bigger than this small little human being is, right? So tapping into that. So how does that work? Now you've got yourself defined duality. Now you have to switch it over. This is what came out in one of the channelings that my friend and I did. I need to get completely out of my head. I know who I am, I've got my boundaries like we've discussed, but it's time now to get completely out of my head. And what that is doing is it's making me more aware of the guidance that I'm getting around me from earth, from nature, from within myself, my higher self, from other beings, just any information that can show up in so many different ways. You've turned on the television and heard that message, right? That you needed to know that very day. Or you go to the grocery store and somebody gives you a compliment and you're feeling so low and now you're so high. So how do you set yourself up to keep that energy level going when you're going through all these processes? Because it's hard on the emotions to do that. We are taught to be very heavy with self-loathing. What does that do? Disconnects us from ourselves, damages our health. So let's get reconnected and learn how to really do this so that we can all rise above and step up above our own self in order to continue living a much more healthy and much more serene type life, even amongst the chaos. This doesn't mean that you're going to be able to let go of all violence and chaos. Paying attention to what's coming out of your mouth, what your behavior is, what your thoughts are, and how you're feeling is very important. But when you make that switch over, now your feelings are directed toward even more how to help other people along their path too. Because if you're helping them and they're coming into your life is moving forward also. And that includes, as we're getting ourselves energetically cleaned out, it includes healthier people coming into our lives, healthier circumstances. Nobody has all the answers, none of us do. And that's kind of part of the fun, I think, of playing this game, as so many people and beings like to call it. So let's lighten up and do something about our day. So I'm going to tell you a secret. The best way to start your day is about the simplest thing ever. The best way to get past an energy that is being pushed upon you or you're pushing upon yourself is to do one simple thing. Smile. You put a bright face on and you can feel the tingling sensation throughout your whole body as your energy changes. So when you have emotions that are cluttering things up, clear your mind. Smile. Get regrounded with your earth and with energy. Get those crappy thoughts out of your head. Just get rid of them. Be better than that all the time. Have a rough day? Sometimes you need to. Go ahead, have the rough day. Come back to the smile. Thank you. I appreciate your comments very much. I hope you enjoyed what we talked about today, and I hope you have a little bit better understanding as to why you get into your head and then why you get out of your head. Thank you for sharing. Divine love, everyone.